Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And as your wise man, I'm here to bestow upon you the wisdom. Punks Talk Wrestling.
1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to Punks Talk Wrestling! On this episode, we continue down the rabbit hole of ridiculousness as we talk about everything that happened at WCW Uncensored 96. I am R.W. Hellborn, the PA Rock Prince, hailing quote-unquote from Philly! And I am one half of the crowd, which is one half of your Punks Talk Wrestling Inter-Universal Tag Team Podcast Champion Host of the World. Now, then, and forever by my side, 3,500 miles away in London, England, he is my tag team podcast partner. He is the other half of the crowd, which is the other half of your Punks Talk Wrestling Inter-Universal Tag Team Podcast Champion of the World, Mr. Did You Know, Sir King of Reels, the proper prick, C.J. Newman! What happened there?
Oh boy. Did you know...
Lost it. Completely lost my mind.
You did. Did you know that WCW Uncensored, unless I'm proven wrong, maybe by Danny the Brain, was the first ever, technically, the first ever a gimmick pay-per-view. So it's a pay-per-view that had a theme to it. Because before then they just had names, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't think anyone before this had done any kind of themed pay-per-view where apparently all the matches were quote-unquote unsanctioned or uncensored. So yeah, until, and guess nothing was really repeated like this until Extreme Rules, which was like, what, 10 years more than that later. So yeah, there you go.
All right. I trust you.
Okay, good. And on that note, to save you a nightmare of editing, because my connection's all fucked up, how's about we talk about Uncensored 1996?
Yeah! Now we're ready to go.
Now we're ready to go.
Whoa!
Uncensored 1996. Shall we just get into the nitty gritty here?
We'll get, yeah. I mean, we'll start it off like, yeah. Let's tell me about the, yeah. Look at this wonderful poster.
A wonderful poster with, I believe, well, it's Lex Luger with an armbar of sorts. It has to be Macho Man Randy Savage, right?
It is, yes. It is Randy Savage. He's got an armbar on Savage and referee Randy Anderson in the background there.
There you go. Nice spot. And the tagline on the oh, don't forget, we have WCW, where the big boys play. Let's not forget that. That was the thing.
Some of them are big boys, but not nearly as big as they claim they are.
yeah, for sure.
Man.
So tagline for, what was the tagline for 1995? We had a
95 was
unsanctioned, unauthorized, unbelievable. Well, that's changed.
Right.
Now we've got everything you've wanted to see, plus the stuff you haven't thought of yet.
That's a really long and
Very long.
And
Doesn't
completely
quite make
nondescript.
sense.
Doesn't make any, yeah.
No.
And I don't know that, I mean, I don't know if it's everything. I don't know that it's everything that I've wanted to see. I don't know that
it's. I mean, I can probably tell you that there's nothing I saw on this show that I wanted to see. I'm not saying I didn't want to see it, but I wasn't like, you know.
Yeah.
There was some. Anyway, we'll get to that. March 24th, 1996. We're back in Tupelo, Mississippi, at the Tupelo Coliseum. If you want to know about the Tupelo Coliseum, well, you can listen to last week's episode. But I'm not going to do that again.
Nope.
Don't need to. Buy rate, I think, which was just the same as. Actually, it might be a little more than the last one. 250,000. Yeah. Oh wow, the year before that was 180,000. So good for them.
Yeah. They definitely jumped the attendance. Went up.
Yeah, attendance. Yeah, 9,000, and the year before was 5,782. But which we'll get into in a second properly. But we'll get into now before we get into on-screen personnel. But the setup for this arena was fucking weird.
Yeah.
Because I guess you couldn't suspend that gigantic cage above the ring, so you had to have it set up at all times.
Yeah.
So they just made that into the entranceway. But I guess by doing that, you kind of extended the arena, so there was more space for more seats, I guess.
Possibly, yeah, I guess so. Or they just sold more.
I think that I mean, WCW's popularity was definitely on the rise. Don't forget, if you are into the Monday Night Wars, then Nitro had been around for about 5 or 6 months at this point, and as we know, WCW was kicking WWF's ass for 82 weeks, 84 weeks, whatever it was, 83 weeks, 83 weeks straight.
Yeah, I don't know if this was actually part of that 81 weeks, or if it was, or if that came a little bit later. But they were legitimately. They were legitimately getting more pay-per-view buy rates. I did look that up. When Tony Schiavone mentioned the number one in pay-per-view, that wasn't just a bold-faced lie. But it was accurate. However, it didn't account. That was an overall. It wasn't, okay, so WrestleMania still beat them.
The 83 weeks started on June 10th, 1996. So it's very soon after this event. So like 3 months afterwards. So
a lot of things changed 3 months after this, which we
so obviously, this had a lot to. There was a lot of fans were, I think, a little disenfranchised with WWF at the time with everything that was going on there. Obviously, we know how the history books ended up, a few years later. But
we do.
So that's why the popularity was booming at this time for WCW. But why don't you get us onto some on-screen personnel?
I will. In the on-screen personnel section of the Wikipedia page for Uncensored 96, we've got the commentators, Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, and Dusty Rhodes, not listed on the Wikipedia page, but it was announced, so I made a note of it. Miguel Alonso and Pedro Morales were the Spanish announcers, so I'm going to propose an edit to this page. I actually, funny enough, I just noticed it. I actually have edit capabilities in Wikipedia. I must have done something long ago that gave me this ability. So I'm just gonna go start editing the Wikipedia pages after we do these events. Miguel Alonso and Pedro Morales, Spanish announcers, interviewed by Gene Okerlund and Lee Marshall, who was an American professional wrestling announcer and radio personality. The name doesn't really ring a bell, and I honestly don't even remember seeing him, but he worked in the AWA, WCW, and he was also WWE, and Women of Wrestling. Wow. So Lee Marshall.
Literally, wow.
Wow, he's got some history. We got ring announcers Dave Penzer and Michael Buffer for the main event. Obviously. And referees Randy Anderson and your pal Nick Patrick.
Yeah, fantastic. Great.
You love them. Go back to last week's episode.
I know I mentioned last week about how much I don't like Nick Patrick's counting. And because I had spoken about it and now watched this pay-per-view, I really took notice of it.
Yeah, I did too, and I'm like, oh, I see it now. It's like
you see what I'm talking about?
It's when someone shatters the glass of the thing that you never really took notice of, and then they point it out, and you're like, oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
He lays like literally on his complete side. There's no like. Most referees go down and like there's a pivot point on the other arm, the arm they rest on, so that their torso is off the ground. Mm-hmm. It's like he'd never done a plank in his life. He doesn't know how to. And so he has like no arm strength in his left arm. So he just flops to the floor and then like sways his entire body to tap. And I'm just like,
we're going to find out that Nick Patrick has some like muscular dystrophy issue.
Don't pull that shit. God damn it.
And then we won't feel bad at all. Hey, but you're the proper prick. I mean, what else are you going to do? Yeah, so there you go. There's our on-screen personnel. Whew, I mean,
and before we get into the actual event,
there was a couple of
my fucking page. There was a couple of main event matches once again, which is Mr. JL, which is Jerry Lynn. Look at that.
Oh shit, it is.
Yeah, versus Dean Malenko in a 3-minute 20 match, and then Jim Duggan versus Big Bubba Rogers in another 3-minute 20 match.
Crazy.
So 2 people that were on the card the year before were not on the card this year. Then we had Dick Slater with Colonel Robert Parker, obviously, versus Alex Wright, who I believe was in the pre-show last year as well.
I believe so, yeah.
In 1 minute 55. And then we had the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott Steiner, versus the Nasty Boys, also the Nasty Boys, who were on the main card last year. Ended in a no contest of 5 minutes and 19 seconds.
Yeah. Man, I will say this. This year got off to a much better start than last year started off.
Oh yeah.
And the first thing note that I made was, holy video games, Conan Ring Gear.
Yeah, right, I know.
I don't think I've ever seen Conan look like that. I just never.
Yeah, and it's not an attire that I'd ever associate Conan with.
No, I don't know what was going on in that that era. But it was the mid '90s, and they were still like, I think WCW was also still going through their phase of just clearly. Once we get to the end of this, we'll see. This was clearly a cartoon episode pay-per-view. Like the amount of craziness and things and the way we got to the main event, it was comical. I mean, it was legitimately comical.
Yeah.
And
it was with Conan as well. I just want to say is if you remember very, very briefly, he was the new Max Moon, because there was an original Max Moon.
Oh yeah.
And then he was the new Max Moon. So this attire almost reminded me of like he had like left the WWF with an old Max Moon attire and then like shredded it up to make this attire, you know?
Yeah, it did. It definitely did look like a WWF, a WWE, WWF era, 90s era, just cartoon character.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't mean anything. It was just to make him look like he came out of a video game.
Exactly, and that's exactly what he looked like.
And then him versus a young and up and coming Eddie Guerrero.
Very young,
at the time. I was like, and this was probably one of the, not probably one of, this was probably the best. This was the best match.
Yeah, I think it was a mix of this and the match after this.
Yeah,
I think were definitely the best matches of the
long
night.
Fucking matches, long matches.
Yeah, really long matches. But shit, man, I'm not no shit on Conan. Like I always appreciated him enough, but he gets a lot of shit actually these days for not being a great wrestler. But
does he?
I thought
he just got a lot of shit for being an unintelligible ring announcer or commentator. Like
that too. But I actually was like, shit, like he had some sequences here with Eddie that were like well impressive. I was like, this is good.
I always thought of
so
Conan
Eddie Guerrero was 29 years old in this match.
Oh wow, so older than
Eddie
I thought
Guerrero
he was.
in this match. Eddie Guerrero is about the same age that Dominic Mysterio is now, basically.
Wow.
Which is crazy to think.
And I mean, Eddie had already, already established himself in I think AAA, in Mexico, in
ECW,
and in ECW. Right, that's right. Yeah, he was an early ECW guy too.
Yeah. He'd been about the scene a little bit before then.
I mean, fantastic opening match. Honestly, it was there was technical spots, there was high fly spots, there was I didn't make a note of any specific, but it was just a solid, good kind of, semi cruiserweight, semi lucha, semi ring technician. Like that was good.
Yeah.
That was a great wrestling match. Like,
yeah, it was good. I think, it's like Eddie has got, if you put it in the modern sense, like Eddie is kind of like Dominic Mysterio is now.
Yeah.
And then in a way, I would say that Conan has more of a style of like Dr. Wagner Jr. He's like a bigger, heavier set luchador. So he does some luchador stuff, but he's also quite heavy.
El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry.
Contender, but, in the contenders for the title for Roman, in the tournament. Or did he already get? I think he already got eliminated.
I think he got eliminated on Raw. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just seeing El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. on Raw was kind of crazy. They're really pushing a lot of AAA guys.
I'm loving it. The AAA matches on Raw the last few weeks have been great. They've been so much fun to watch.
The crossovers have been great. I mean, Ray Phoenix just showed up on NXT last night. I know we're deviating immediately.
Yeah.
but,
we are.
To the point, there's a lot of great stuff with the partnership. Well, that's not a partnership. WWE owns them now, but like now
but it feels like a partnership because they're not going crazy with like fucking up the promotion. They're letting it be, so to speak.
Right. But giving a lot of mid card guys and some top guys like just different experiences in different crowds and a totally different style. I will
fantastic say as well.
Everybody.
Yeah, and it's cool. Actually, we'll get back onto the pay per view after this, but
yeah.
I will say that Money in the Bank, obviously we've got Sunday night's main event coming up soon, which isn't considered like a main PLE, but with Money in the Bank coming up Money in the Bank's still quite far away, so I really like what they're doing right now, which is like they've got Mexico, Raw in Mexico, so we're promoting something towards that. Yeah. We've got SmackDown in Canada in a few weeks, which we're promoting, Kevin Owens and Punk, so we're having a good time right now. Even though you would think that, we've got a long time to a PLE, we can probably cool off a little bit. If anything, WWE feels hotter at the moment than it has done in a little while. So it's
on fire right now. Yeah, it is truly on fire. Yeah. But 18 minutes and 27 seconds for the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship. Solid match. Eddie had a great showing.
Yeah, solid match. Strange. I'm not saying it's a bad ending. Strange ending with like the up and over and like the unintentional low blow. I think they pulled it off as good as you could have pulled it off. I think they were trying to like push for it, maybe saying that Conan did it intentionally. But when they did the replay, I was like, "There's no way it was intentional. It was complete accident."
Yeah, there's a lot of weird. I've noticed that, and maybe it's just the time frame, or maybe it's WCW in general that did it a lot. But it really seemed like the commentators were not on the same page. Yeah, they just don't have any idea what's going on, and they're just they're overreacting. Almost a little. Bobby Heenan. I mean, I love Heenan. I love Dusty. Got it. But they really, really get almost comical,
They do, yeah. I've got a few notes here about the commentators. We'll get to those at some point. On the note of commentators,
like Ludimum's Maximums.
We'll get there.
We'll get to Ludimum's Maximums.
On the note of that and the commentators, Dusty Rhodes got his job back after losing it one whole year before this at the last Uncensored.
Did he? He lost it. Oh, wait, what?
He got fired after the fucking match. What the fuck was that match called?
Dustin, not Dusty.
Oh shit! Well, I'm a dickhead, huh?
It was
This
Dustin.
whole time. Yeah, you're right. This whole fucking time, I've been sitting here thinking, he just got rehired.
Yeah.
Different fucking roads.
But let's go to the second match, because this goes back to last year's Uncensored and how they censored the Blood.
Yeah.
And fired them, and then we get to the next match between the Belfast Bruiser, which is Fit Finlay, and Lord Steven Regal, and there's blood in the match. Steven Regal, Regal's nose gets busted, and he's bleeding all over the place.
Yep.
And that's fine, and that's just fine. Now,
a difference a year makes, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So second match, Steven Regal and Fit Finlay. That was just a good old fashioned slobber knocker.
Just a British strong style, two British blokes beating the piss out of each other.
Yeah, and they basically set this up as this is just England versus Ireland. This is the international flair that they talk about.
Yeah.
Because we've got guys from Mexico, a guy from Japan, one from Ireland and England. Truly worldwide.
And then Dusty Rhodes says, "Where's Ireland? I think it's about 5 minutes from London," which was hilarious. I've got so many notes that have nothing to do with this match. One of them says one of them just says Nick fucking Patrick. That's all it says.
One of my notes, I think it was from this match, or it might have been from the next match, where Dusty Rhodes says he's using his body parts as plunder. He keeps talking about every time he's using the term plunder continuously through this match. For any time anyone uses like a chair or for an object,
right.
He's using the plunder. He's got the plunder, baby. He's plunder. He's hit him with some plunder.
I had some shot. Well, we're on the fucking note. We had Tony Schiavone say something about someone getting hit in the glutimus maximus, which is the bum. Well, then that led to, I wrote them all down, that led to Dusty Rhodes saying gluteus maximus, glutamum maximum, glutamum maximum, and glutamus maximus. Glutamus maximum.
Yeah,
so,
they just couldn't get it.
Fucking, I was funny. It was good shit, actually.
Yeah. Man, could you just imagine 1990 Vince McMahon hearing right. like you hear the stories about like Vince and the earpieces of the commentators, but like clearly there was no one in the back just telling
there
them
ain't no one on the earpiece.
Shut the fuck up and just keep talking about the match. Like what are you doing?
This is the thing. You don't want a Vince McMahon. It's too much, but you also don't want nothing at all. You need something in the middle.
Yeah.
Wild. Another note. I got really obsessed during this pay-per-view. I got really obsessed with looking up people's ages.
Yeah.
So crazy to think. Put the image of Fit Finlay in your head, or the Belfast Bruiser from this 1996 pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. He was 38 years old here.
Jeez.
I'm 37. Like, what the fuck? How did he look like that? But another crazy thing is he didn't make his WWE debut until he was 48 years old.
Holy shit, really? That's how I'm 48 right now, and that's crazy.
So also, he made his WWE debut in 2006, which is obviously 10 years later, and he was 48.
Also, holy crap, his freaking mullet mustache.
Oh yeah, I know. Like, what a combo. Like what a look. Good
that was
him.
A look for sure. It got thrown out after 17 and a half minutes because of Lord Steven Regal's henchmen just decided to come out and interfere. So,
yeah, which was Bobby Eaton from the Midnight Express, if you're wondering, and David Taylor, who teamed with Regal in 2006, if you also remember that too.
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, so that's who those guys were.
So and then they just continued fighting towards the back. Nothing got resolved.
Which was fine. It's like you kind of want a winner with a match like that, but whatever. It was
yeah.
fine.
I think I yeah. I don't know that enough people just knew, like. Yeah, I don't know what because I believe this was Fit Finley's kind of debut or in-ring debut at WCW too.
Maybe, yeah. I think so.
It was his WCW debut under the Bruiser character. So maybe.
There we go.
Yeah.
He'd already been there as Finley or something.
Yeah.
Fit Finley. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention something that something you only ever see on 90s pay-per-views, be it WWF or WCW or even ECW. It's the shots backstage of a wrestler sitting at a computer, fake typing.
Giant,
this was Big Show or the Giant. Yeah, was doing where are my notes? Yeah, he was using a computer thanks to CompuServe. Just
you could
in case
chat with him.
Not a sponsor.
I mean, hey, they were trying ways to get people to interact, and I mean,
I love it. It's great. You had that, and obviously they used to do the phone in. Like, there's a really famous one of Shawn Michaels, like in '97, with the hotline kind of thing. He was out the back there with phones and stuff.
Yeah, man, that was.
I
big,
love this
man.
shit.
The hotlines.
Hotlines were great.
Yeah, man.
WWE had a whole TV show based around like the hotline and stuff, which was Doc Hendricks was part of that show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just love those segments. They're so quintessentially late 90s. It's beautiful. Love to see it.
Yeah, like just thinking about the fact that the internet was barely a thing at this point. Like a lot of people didn't even have internet access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. 1996. I mean, that's so early. That's primitive internet right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who the fuck is on a chat room or in 1996? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But interesting. We had a little promo from Colonel Robert Parker, who's clearly had a few beers in the last year. He
looked a lot worse. Like 1 year.
Yeah, he
later.
did. Yeah. You know what's crazy as well? It's in my notes somewhere. Oh yeah, how old do you reckon Colonel Robert Parker is here, right in this match?
Probably.
But
like
we're not at that. We're not at that match yet. But in this promo that we have backstage, how old do you reckon he is?
He looks like he looked like he could be in his late 50s at this point, but he probably was like 38.
He's 46.
46.
He's like basically your age, and
younger than I am,
and he looks like that.
Dude, I think people just looked older. Like, people just looked older.
Did.
I think it's the mustaches. It's the mustaches and mullets, man. Like, everybody looked like 20 years older than they actually were, and
Well, you say that. Colonel Robert Parker didn't have either of those things. He just looks old.
He just looks old. Yeah. He dresses like an old man. Like that's part of it.
This is why. This is why I got obsessed with ages during this. Every fucking person that came out, I was googling their age at this time. William Regal was 28, by the way, in case you were wondering.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, and he looks way fucking older. He looks like in his late 30s.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. Anyway, on to the next match.
Yeah. Can we just skip? Can we just skip it?
Fuck.
I mean,
this is the Medusa.
Yeah. Okay.
What a pile of shit.
This was it was such a gimmick. Like, yes, this is mid 90s.
Yeah.
Southern wrestling. Oh, we've got the heel guy gonna beat up on the face, woman wrestler. It was.
Yeah.
It was. I don't.
Colonel Robert Parker had the most sexist fucking promos.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like, of course,
Boy, howdy.
he was a heel, and it was, but it's just, I mean, I can't understand why anyone would care or want to see that for any reason whatsoever. It just.
The only note I have for this match is this match was dumb.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, he's sloppy. Like the entire It was cool to see, I guess from a perspective of seeing a woman be able to wrestle a man at all was shocking. And, they didn't do shit like that often. And of course it was, he wasn't a real, it's not like you're putting, you're putting Medusa against the Giant, where it's like, come on, that's just absurd.
Yeah. But I looked into, so basically this isn't too long after Medusa left the WWF, obviously put the WWF Women's Championship into the bin.
Mm-hmm.
And but it made me question, like, I was like, what made her go to WCW? Because there was no women's division. So she arrived, they made a women's championship. It lasted less than a year. And after that, she stayed with WCW, and all she was a valet member of the NWO who had no matches for years.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why did you? I get it. It's money, it's contracts and all that stuff.
It was money.
But that's all it was. But it's crazy that you left somewhere where you were wrestling consistently and getting a really decent women's division over in the WWF to just go to WCW to wrestle fucking Colonel Robert Parker.
Yeah, I hope the paydays were worth it.
I hope it was worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too sure. I hope it was worth it.
Thankfully, that match was 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Colonel Robert Parker defeated Medusa by essentially just falling on top of her and basically pinning her with his crotch in her face.
Yeah, that was delightful.
Like it was just sloppy and
it was just rough. It was such a waste of my fucking time. And
so we won't waste anybody else's. We won't waste listeners' time with any more of it. We're going to go to the I Quit Wrestling match. The Booty Man with the Booty Babe defeating. Well, we'll just say I'm reading it. So the Booty Man and the Booty Babe versus Diamond Dallas Page, and the stipulation was if DDP lost. So basically, this was DDP's bum ass Corbin phase.
That's exactly what I had written down.
This is bum ass Dallas. He lost everything. Apparently he was drinking and gambling. I mean, it's literally bum ass Corbin in kind of a reverse, because Happy Corbin came out of winning from gambling, where bum ass Dallas lost at gambling, lost his diamond rings, lost his wife, valet, and it wasn't even supposed to be against the Booty Man. This wasn't even he wasn't even supposed to be in this match. It was supposed to be
Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah, Johnny B. Bad, and then I don't know what happened with he left WCW after like losing. He lost the TV championship. Okay, so he lost a television championship to Lex Luger. Yeah, and then left WCW But then Lex, but Lex didn't have the TV championship at the time either. I don't think he certainly wasn't on. He certainly didn't have it during this event, and I don't even know if that's actually accurate, because that was a Chat GPT thing that I looked up, and it was just like some of my information might be incorrect.
I mean, Johnny B. Bad. So obviously he left WCW, went to the WWF.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here you go. I found it now. So, he lost the television championship to Lex Luger during a house show, on February 17th. Defeated Luger to regain the title on February 18th, and he lost the title to Luger again on March 9th episode of Saturday Night, after Page delivered a diamond cutter to Bad on the floor. So obviously this was the rivalry between Diamond Dallas Page and Johnny B. Bad. This was Bad's final appearance at WCW. He left the company because he was strongly objected to the ongoing angle with Kimberly Page. So I guess he wasn't happy with the storyline.
Right. I don't blame him, because these kinds of storylines are lame, in my opinion. Like any storyline that involves when I win, I get to keep a person. The woman, like, just fuck off with it. Like, I'll never care about, like, it's just, but it's the 90s. The time.
It's the 90s. It was a very.
It certainly doesn't age well.
And it doesn't happen now. It's crazy as well. This was March 9th was his last ever appearance for WCW.
Yeah.
And the crazy no compete clause thing not being a thing in the 90s. He was on Raw as Mark Mero by March 31st. So literally a few weeks later he was on the other show, which is crazy.
And so they just shoehorned
Booty Man in here, and then instead they just decided, well, Kimberly Page is just gonna now get with the Booty Man because that was the goal. So we're just gonna put somebody else in here and just, I mean, okay, whatever, just makes everybody look, he lost, Page lost, and I guess was supposed to leave, but then I guess storyline, he just showed back up and basically said, well, I was supposed to face a different guy, so the stipulation of the match doesn't count. And then so they just got rid of it. But that did kind of set up, a lot of this did set up, like, there's a lot of things, it's weird when we get to the end of it, like, a lot of this did set up the future of WCW, which was their best point. And it kind of pushed DDP to change his character into the person that we knew him to be when he actually, had his big, when he was at his height. It wasn't I can't say that it was a great match. I mean, it wasn't a bad match.
It was bad. It was fine.
It was fine.
I, as much as the storyline sucked, I will say it was nice to at least go into a match for the first time here that actually felt like it had a storyline going into it at the very least.
It did have it. Yeah.
The other ones felt a bit more like there was no talk of if there was a story. I'm sure there was, but if there was very limited talk about it. But at least they actually spoke about why they were fighting, which was good. As much as it sucked.
Yeah,
but the Booty
16
Man
minutes.
won.
16 minutes was not bad.
Long match. Next up, we got the Giant with Jimmy Hart versus Loch Ness for the number one
699 pounds.
Yeah.
Come on.
I got a little history lesson.
Come on here, like that's the kind of stuff where it's like, come on, that's it's just a joke. Like, it's just dumb to like. If you were a 700-pound person cannot walk, like, like they're and let alone compete in any type of. I mean, granted, he couldn't really compete much either. Like, dude could barely do anything. I'll be honest.
I got a little history lesson for you here. So,
all right.
The Loch Ness, he was better known in England as Giant Haystacks. Now, he was back in the 70s and 80s on ITV, which I think would be a similar network to like your NBC. There was a show on there called World of Sport, and on this show they would have multiple different sports from the world, and they would have 1 hour every week British wrestling, and on there would be obviously you had like Giant Haystacks, you had Kendo Nagasaki, you had Big Daddy, Tony St. Clair, like there's so like all these really famous British wrestlers. Crazy, I don't think I ever told you this, but my dad used to live and work around the same area of which they used to film World of Sport Wrestling. And my dad used to go to the shows a lot back in the 70s and 80s, but he also used to drink at the same pub as all the wrestlers after the events. So my dad used to hang out with Giant Haystacks, Big Daddy, and so on and so forth. So he had a bunch of stories about that. And he said it was quite funny because back in the day, obviously, they were always trying to keep character. They would always be in kayfabe. But whenever they went to this pub, they would kind of like oust most people from being there. And it would just be mostly the wrestlers. But my dad was there quite a lot. So he was allowed to stay. So, he got to drink with a lot of these guys, which is fucking hilarious.
That's awesome.
And an amazing thing. But, and it's crazy. I never actually knew that Giant Haystacks or Loch Ness ever made it stateside. I didn't know. He was I cannot express to you in the 70s and 80s, like this guy was gigantic. He was such a huge star. They had shows at like the Royal Albert Hall and Wembley Arena and stuff in 1979, like long before the WWE had ever even touched Great Britain.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's actually a fucking icon, and it's crazy. Like in this match, he's 59 years old.
Oh,
and
damn.
Also, this is his very last. What you witnessed was his very last match. He died of lymphoma like 3 years later. So
Damn.
crazy. But yeah, as much as this match sucked because it wasn't very good, it was quite cool to see Giant Haystacks in a wrestling match. I haven't seen much Giant Haystacks because there's not the world of sport wrestling. There's not much of it online to see, but obviously he comes from a different time, 70s wrestling, 60s, 70s, very slow pace, just a lot of clubbing on the back and stuff. Plus Giant Haystacks is a big dude and he couldn't really move anyway.
Right.
But
so and now he was part of the Dungeon of Doom. He was part of these monsters, literally like cartoonish monsters. When you think of the people that they were dealing with, most of the Dungeon of Doom were very cartoonish, and this was part of he was supposed to originally be in the Doomsday Cage match.
He was, yeah.
But for whatever reason, that is really they pulled him out to put him against the Giant, just as a let's see who the biggest Giant is. And obviously the giant Paul White was the winner after 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Yeah. And that was a number 1 contenders match for the WCW Heavyweight Championship that they were going to fight the next day on Nitro.
On Nitro, that's right, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I didn't do any research after that. But yeah. So the Giant gets a number 1 contenders match against Ric Flair, who's in the main event.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I mean, their entrances lasted longer than the match. It was. It was just a spectacle, and that was it. I mean, it's a sad, sad that he,
sad ending in a way. Oh, here you go. Ric Flair versus the Giant ended in a no contest.
No. Oh man, I hate it. Oh, I hate how everything in WWE always ends in a no contest. It ends in disqualifications. Yeah, dude. Look at all these other ones. Yeah.
It's been happening for years.
It's been happening for years. Yeah. It's nothing new. But hey, look at what's back. We've got another street fight.
Yep.
I guess
another street fight / Falls Count Anywhere, whatever you want to call it. Booker T's involved again, and just spoiler alert, I looked ahead to Uncensored 1997, and Booker T is in another tag team street fight the year after.
They were
make it up.
And this is another one of those things where this was supposed to be Sting and Lex Luger, who were the tag team champions.
Yeah.
But Luger got put into the Doomsday Cage match, who wasn't even a heel. And like there was, and I don't even understand why. I don't understand why Jimmy Hart was even with him when he was also with the people that were against Hulk Hogan. And when did Jimmy Hart in WCW become a heel against Hogan? I don't remember either. Maybe so, but
it must have happened sometime between the last Uncensored pay-per-view and this one.
Yeah. I'm guessing one of the reasons Loch Ness was pulled out of the Doomsday Cage match was probably because the Doomsday Cage would not actually hold him.
I mean, likely, yeah. They probably set that thing up and went, "Oh shit, I don't think this is gonna work."
Yeah, I was surprised that people did not die in that match either.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, we will.
There's so much to say about that match.
So the Chicago Street Fight, and the result was if Sting and Booker T beat the Road Warriors, then Booker T and Bully Ray or Bubba Ray, no. Bully, what's Booker T's tag team partner?
Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray. I'm like, it was a Ray.
Who are you talking about?
Yeah,
right,
Stevie Ray.
It was a Ray, yeah.
So, yes. So if they won, then Harlem Heat got a tag team title match against Sting and Lex Luger. And if they lost, then the Road Warriors got the tag team title shot. This was actually, I mean, this was a great match. This honestly was a pretty good street fight match, if all things considered, especially towards the end. You know, it showcased. I mean, it was a little campy and it was funny because here we go, Lex Luger. They go into the back and Lex Luger's here posing.
This is like 20 minutes.
What's up? Hello?
Yeah.
What happened?
He also did that during the promo as well. He did can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hey.
Yeah, but I think oh boy.
Uh-oh. We got to
Let me call you back. I think you're getting my messages like really late.
Okay, yeah, there must be some delay. Okay. We are back after
We're back in action.
More technical difficulties today.
With some microwave interference.
That must have been it. It must have been microwave interference.
It must have been microwave interference.
Okay, so
yeah, this match was the street fight. I think like it's a fucking near 30-minute match, and I did enjoy it, but I will say like if you cut the fat off like 10 minutes, it would have been like a really good match.
Yeah, there was some slow
lost
spots
itself
where people
here
were
and
just
there.
They were just kind
like,
of
we had this
wandering around.
Yeah, this one weird elaborate moment where Sting wandered all the way up the ramp, went through the back, and I was like, oh, what's going on? What's he going to get? And he just came out with 2 fucking brooms. I was like, That was it? You went all that way to just get 2 brooms? That was really underwhelming.
Yeah. But the end, I mean, the end was actually fantastic in my opinion. Campy and hilarious, but like hearing in the earlier backstage interviews where Lex was so distraught that he had to be pulled out of, that he was put in this match and he couldn't be there, and he's like, don't worry, Sting, I'll be, I don't know if this was sort of like a heel turn for him, or there was just so much weird shit that they did not know
it
what
was
they
weird,
were doing.
Yeah. I couldn't really tell if Lex was a fucking face or a heel in this fucking show. It was weird. Like
I mean, it seemed like he was very much just being the narcissist Lex Luger. In this
but
thing.
it was so funny in that promo backstage when he was getting interviewed, Jimmy was getting interviewed, I think, and he was just flexing his fucking pecs, like staring, like fucking eyes barrel right down the camera. I was like, this, you're looking right into my soul here, and you're making me feel very uncomfortable right now.
But the hilarious part of like him just flexing in the mirror when Booker T comes back and starts fighting with Animal in the back.
Yeah.
It gets involved because they shoved him into a trash can, so he got like trash all over his oiled up body. And then all of a sudden Stevie Ray comes in, and then it's Stevie Ray, Booker T, and Lex Luger versus Animal.
Yeah.
Trying to like and Jimmy Hart, and then Jimmy Hart winds, and they handcuff him to a post on the backstage, and then it basically takes everybody to beat up Hawk,
yeah.
Which if you wanting to make the Road Warriors seem almost indestructible, I mean it kept the Road Warriors looking strong in a way because they needed multiple people to beat them up, and and that's kind of fine. That's cool. Like. But you're right. I think there was a little bit of fat. They could have trimmed this down. They could have trimmed 10 minutes off.
And I also question, like, I was like, when I went backstage and I saw like Stevie Ray, but at first I wasn't sure if it was him, and I was like, but wait, so then if Stevie Ray's obviously clear enough to, why wasn't he just in the match?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they were fighting for Harlem Heat having a title. Unless there was look, we don't know the
why
full
wasn't it
lead
just
up to this show, but why wasn't it just Harlem Heat fighting for their fucking title shot? Unless they were like, oh shit, we haven't got a spot for Sting on this card, and Sting's our biggest star, so sorry, Stevie,
so we gotta put him somewhere.
We're gonna put him in your place. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was fine.
Why did they put Lex Luger into the Doomsday cage match at all.
But
I
I
can
don't
understand
get
if
that
they,
either. Yeah.
Yeah, like he had nothing against Hogan and Savage at that point,
No.
theoretically, or maybe
Also,
I don't know.
why was it a Chicago street fight? What made it Chicago?
Because I think because Booker T is from Chicago. Oh no, the Road
Booker
Warriors
T's
are
from
from
Harlem.
Chicago.
Are they?
Right.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Road
they
Warriors
are.
from
Okay, all right.
Chicago.
Okay, that's fine. But normally you have a Chicago street fight in Chicago. You don't normally have like a...
Yeah,
But hey,
it wouldn't.
I
Right, it
digress.
should have been right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. You're exactly right. They weren't in Chicago.
It should have been
Tupelo street fight.
a Tupelo table match is what we should have had.
Yeah.
And we would have heard Dusty Rhodes say Tupelo table match. It would have been great.
Yeah. Or a Mississippi mayhem match.
Mayhem. Yeah, why not?
Why
I'd
not?
take that.
Anyway, they gave him almost 30 minutes, and that's like longer than the main event with Hulk Hogan and Randy
Literally,
Savage.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's kind of wild in and of itself. That this match was the longest of the night, and it barely meant anything at all. The end result
Yeah, I know.
the end result was that Harlem Heat gets a title shot for the tag team championship. Like, yeah, okay. I mean, it was And then we get what everyone was here for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though
for
no one
some
knew
reason.
what the hell was happening.
So before we get into this match, I do want to say I found it hilarious that throughout the night, every commentator, we went from 2 or 3 stories tall. We went from 5 to 6 stories tall. By the end of the night, we ended on 7 to 8 stories tall. This thing was.
Yeah.
It was 3. It was 3 stories tall. At a ground floor, a first floor, and a second. In fact, it was 2 stories tall. That's all it was. There was nothing more to it. Stop saying it was
really
8 stories tall. It was a fucking 8-story building. Come on. Like, I'm not that fucking stupid.
Yeah, exactly. The exaggeration is one thing, but just complete like nonsense. It really takes you out. I mean, but my other favorite was we kind of missed. I think we missed it because it happened before the Giant versus Giant match. But I have notes here of Uncensored, where they censored Tony Schiavone saying WWF Women's Champion.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's funny.
And then Uncensored, where Dusty Rhodes can't say what he's going to do because it won't be allowed on TV.
Yeah.
You know, like there are multiple things that they censored during the Uncensored pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That they didn't even have to censor.
But I'll tell you something that was censored. The rules for this fucking match, because they never got mentioned.
There were no
confident.
some rules. There were some
What were
rules.
the rules?
Hogan and Savage were supposed to start at the beginning of the cage, at
Right.
the top,
Yes.
and they had to escape the first level of the cage that had Arn
Yes.
Anderson and Ric Flair in it
Yeah.
by a trap door in the cage
Yeah,
to
that's fine.
the second floor.
Yeah.
And then Ric Flair and Arn Anderson were supposed to be eliminated from the match. They specifically said once Hogan and Savage both got to the next level, the opponents on the previous level are eliminated from the match.
Okay. That
Which
didn't
we
happen.
see did not happen at all, because as soon as they got to the next, anytime they got to a next room, they just let the other guys in. Ming and Barbarian let Ric Flair and Arn Anderson down to the next level once Hogan and Savage locked them in the other side of the cage, other half of that second level cage.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Heenan screaming, "This is a maze. There's no way in and there's no way out." And then literally within the second later, Hogan shoves Sullivan through the cage door on the second floor, because they entered the cages they walked up scaffolding to each floor and went through a door. So there was a door on every floor. So there were ways out everywhere. And he's screaming, "There's no way out." And then he literally goes through the door and they're outside the cage. and then they start fighting on the scaffolding, and then they fight their way into the ring,
into the actual
and then
ring.
they just fight,
and
then they fight their way back for no other reason, and then everyone's just down at the bottom, like except for Ming and Barbarian.
Right, okay, hold on, fucking, let's roll back. I was expecting kind of like, at the start of like the War Games match, even though we've seen a War Games match fucking so many times now, they still got to explain the rules, right? They do it before the Royal Rumble match.
Oh, for the first time, for people tuning in for the first time.
Yeah, but next year is the 40th Royal Rumble match, yet they still obviously explain the rules. But I get it. It's fine. I'm into it. And it's all good because you might be first-time viewer. This is the first ever Doomsday Cage. Give me some fucking goddamn rules.
And they're not
Tell me how it
explaining
works.
properly.
They didn't explain shit. So, but I was like, okay, so I get it, right? So Hogan and Savage need to. It's like a fucking video game. That's what this.
That's exactly
this
what
cage
it literally
match.
was. It was a
video
game. You get to the next level.
Yeah, this would have really worked in like some weird video game. Anyway, so they take out. You go in stages and you take out the people stage by stage. In a way, like stage 2 was cut into 2 parts because like there were 2 different teams within. Anyway.
Yeah.
And then I figured that once you were in the cage, you couldn't get out. So I would have put a trap door on the second stage so then you can drop down into the ring, and that's with the third stage. But then I need to question to you, why the fuck were the Barbarian why were the Ultimate Solution and Z Gangster not in the ring waiting the whole fucking time?
Right. And also wasn't the Ultimate Solution the name that Hogan gave to the dude who came out last year?
That's what he described him as, yeah. But then we had this dude who was, I don't even know who the fuck he is, to be honest with you. Oh shit!
Yeah,
he was Bane in Batman and Robin. No fucking way.
What? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And he was also in the No Holds Barred movie, the wrestling movie. And he was also the masked Dorian in The Mask. When the bad guy puts the mask on. Shit.
And Jim Carrey's The Mask?
Yeah, Jim Carrey's The Mask. But he was uncredited in that.
Man, this guy's got a lot of credit.
No idea who this fucking dude...
There he is in full Bane makeup.
There you go. But it looks like his wrestling career was barely a thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, real quick...
Yeah, barely a thing at all. But why weren't those guys in the ring waiting as the third stage? They kind of just appeared at one point.
Yeah.
And then, all right, we go to the ring, we do all the bullshit. They come back to the cage. It would have been better if they just stayed in the cage because you could have done. Why did they go to the ring in the middle of the arena when there was a fucking ring in the cage? Just go to the...
I think
there was no need for that.
I think the only reason why they did that was so that the entire crowd could see Hulk Hogan in the ring without the cage blocking their view.
Yeah, man. I guess I get it.
Imagine this stage is basically on the entrance ramp. So like I can only imagine that half of the auditorium, half of the arena just couldn't see anything happening.
Yeah.
Now they might have had like TVs
I
there
doubt
too.
It didn't seem like they. It didn't honestly didn't seem like they did.
Yeah.
And then I want to say, so we get back to the cage. We're in the ring, and there comes fucking Booty Man with frying pans. Why?
Frying pans for
what
no
the
reason.
Fuck?
Why?
What does that even have to do with
pans?
anything? Why frying pans?
I don't,
a steel chair would have sufficed, but I mean,
also,
a fucking broom would have been better. But a fucking frying pan, I mean,
two of them.
Two of them.
Like, I mean, did they get like? Are they? Where? Why?
It didn't make any fucking sense.
It didn't.
I mean, this whole match didn't make sense. But then the frying pan.
Also, why was
Miss
Elizabeth? Why was Miss Elizabeth with them too? Like, there's so many. There's so many.
So many questions. Also, Brian Pillman was meant to be in this match, and Tony Schiavone just kept mentioning, "Well, where's Brian Pillman?" Turns out he parted ways with the company after Super Brawl. But I mean, they just kept bringing up, "Where's Brian Pillman? He's meant to be here, and he wasn't there."
There were, I
Yeah.
mean, there were other people. The Yeti was originally supposed to be in this match, and also, and like you said, Loch Ness was supposed to be in.
Yeah.
You know, there were so many things.
But
It was
hold on,
it was
the
very
Loch Ness-
convoluted.
The Loch Ness could have been in the match if he was in the fucking ring.
Yeah, he could have just been in the final ring. Yeah, why not?
Which again, I'll mention it for the third time. Why weren't Z Gangster and the Ultimate Solution in the ring to begin with?
Right.
At the third stage, waiting for Hogan. It didn't make any fucking sense. This match kind of pissed me off.
Maybe it's just maybe they just didn't want them standing around doing nothing for 15 minutes.
And then we'll get to the finish. So we had a weighted glove, didn't we? Wherever that was, I didn't really make much sense to that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So then we had.
I don't know if that was a thing.
Flair was holding the ultimate. No, yeah, Flair was holding Randy Savage, and Lex Luger went to go for a punch.
Flair and Anderson, who were eliminated earlier.
Yeah,
in the match
who
and
shouldn't even be there.
Gone, because
So then,
Ming and Barbarian left.
Maybe, yeah. So Savage ducks, right? And then, obviously, what's meant to happen, Savage ducks, and then Luger's meant to punch Ric Flair. By accident. What happens is Savage ducks, and then he hesitates for a second, then he literally grabs Ric Flair's head and punches him, which looks elaborately, but then has a reaction as if he did it by accident.
After he'd already been beating up on Savage and Hogan before.
Yeah,
like,
so
it's not like he can't.
I thought it was a face turn, and I was like, no, he was meant to hit Flair by accident, hitting his own teammate.
Yeah, and I think he just stopped. And even the commentators, even Bobby Heenan was like, did he mean to do it? He didn't mean to do it. Did he mean to do it? I think he did. Blah, blah, blah. It was so chaotic. It was so weird and like, yeah. It was just.
Of course, the Mega Powers. The Mega Powers won.
Of course. Well,
the only other note I have is that Kevin Sullivan looks like Hulk Hogan went through the wash. Because he does.
Yeah. I mean, he, yeah. Yep.
Kevin Sullivan weirded me out, man. He freaks me out.
Yeah, there's something about that guy. It's a little unnerving. Like when you see like
unnerving.
Oh yeah. There is something about him.
Especially this get up, this hair. The hair was weird, and I didn't like. It's such a weird thing, but the lack of knee pads really put me off. And
lack of knee pads.
It's like Cody Rhodes when he debuted in the WWE with no knee pads. Fucking weird. You remember that? It looked. His legs didn't look right.
Yeah.
It looked like if I was wearing wrestling gear, it wouldn't look good, and he kind of looked that way.
Yeah.
But Kevin Sullivan, and he was kind of like.
I mean,
but
I will say this was definitively better than the 96.
Oh yeah, the show in general, the main event
it was better by a margin.
It was.
It was still a lot of mess. Like it was still a mess, and
it's messy. It's still messy. It wasn't. I wouldn't.
But it was 96, and I think everyone was just throwing spaghetti at the walls.
Yeah, some things stuck,
Yeah, some things actually stuck.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, okay. The reason why the Four Horsemen got involved with the Dungeon of Doom. So basically, this was the story as it goes was. For a year and a half, 2 years, there were all these people trying to end Hulkamania, and like no one could do it. The Dungeon of Doom had all these monsters, and none of them could do it, and the Four Horsemen couldn't do it. And why don't we just put everybody together? It's basically just we'll put everybody together. At one point, based on what little I looked up, it seems like at one point it was going to be just Hulk Hogan versus the entire Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah.
And then it just became completely unbelievable that Hogan versus four guys and you just can't, it's just unbelievable that he would be able to beat them just 4-on-1 straight up.
Yeah.
So, and they wanted to put Randy and Savage and Flair had been fighting for the title back and forth. And they wanted to put the two biggest stars, in the main event, and they wanted to reunite the Mega Powers. So then they're like, and then they found this and apparently this cage was, this cage already existed as the Tower of Doom match from the Great American Bash in 1998. If this is correct,
really?
If this information is correct at all.
Tower of Doom match?
Yeah. I don't know if that's accurate or if that's a let's just look. Let me look real quick.
Oh no, so the Tower of Doom is different. The Tower of Doom is like a Hell in a Cell type thing with a smaller cage on top with a smaller cage on top. That was from the 1988 Great American Bash. Different
That
cage.
was okay.
Yeah. So
Let's see. Kevin
I
Sullivan
will
was
say
in that,
though,
too.
if there's one thing that we have learned from cage matches over time, and I think WCW were the perfect guinea pig for this, it's not about the amount of cages, it's more about the size of the cage. So a cage match, great,
Right.
good job. A Hell in a Cell
Okay,
match,
so this-
sweet. It's a bigger cage, nice. But the moment you start adding more cages, it doesn't make it better. Like, it just doesn't work like that. Just because you've added 2 more cages to your cage match doesn't make it better.
Oh, okay. It wasn't the same cage. That was me misunderstanding. It was they had done that 3-tiered cage, so that's basically where they reused the idea and then just made it bigger and made it just a solid straight up and down,
Right, yeah.
just a giant, just it wasn't
it
tiered like a.
Yeah, it looks cool. I will say that the Tower of Doom cage looks impressive. They actually did also reuse that. They did reuse the Tower of Doom cage.
Yeah.
Because it was the War Games match in the year 2000, which I believe we watched for the pod.
That's when they reused that idea. Yeah, that's when they reused
a couple
the
of years
3-tier
ago,
one.
I think. Yeah, man, we've really gotten into. We also watched that weird cage match with the electric chair in the middle of it. Remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've watched a lot of
I
weird
don't-
cage matches on this pod. Just
We
kind
really
of
have, yeah.
seems to keep accidentally happening somehow. Yeah, it's not about
Well, there's
the amount of cages, it's about the size of your cage. Is what I meant to
Yeah,
say.
that's right. It's oh man. I mean, so at the end of the day, I mean, it was an event. I mean, it was something else. It was unique.
It was unique. Yeah.
It was,
Actually, one thing I do before we wrap this up, I will say that it's been a long time since there's been a new cage match type structure introduced. I mean, in the WWE, we're talking Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So that's the last time that a new I mean, they've reinvented it, they've redesigned it. The War Games was brought back, but there hasn't been a new type of cage match.
When was the first Hell in a Cell match in WWF?
1997.
Was 97. Okay, so that was already after. That was already after this, because this cage was not just around the ring like a normal steel cage. It was there was a ring side. There was a floor around it too.
Yeah.
So the first level of the cage in this was actually just like the elimination or like the Hell in a Cell cage. It was over top of the whole thing, and you had a floor outside of the ring that was still inside the cage.
Well, if anything, the 1988 Tower of Doom cage, the blower floor cage, is more like the Hell in a Cell than anything else. So
right, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that came along like 10 years before, nearly.
Yeah.
So, but obviously, like all of those prior cage matches, classic. We all know a cage match. Everything that WCW tried with the Tower of Doom, with this fucking, what the fuck is this thing called again?
This is the Doomsday cage.
The Doomsday cage, with even War Games and what they made that into. It just never really worked. And then WWE brought along Hell in the Cell, and it was a raging success from the fucking get-go.
Well, because they just know how to do it better.
Yeah. But now
I mean,
I'm like, not only cage matches, but it got me to thinking before we wrap this up that there's not been really any new match types introduced in such a long time.
Maybe not. I mean, I would say the Iron Survivor matches in NXT is
that's true.
It's kind of a new.
Like that.
I mean, that's the thing. They're all plays on other concepts. Like the Iron Survivor match is unique because it's a multi-person Iron Man match, and if you get pinned or submitted, you then have to you get stuck in like the penalty box, so you're out of the match for a certain amount of time. That's kind of a little bit different.
Yeah.
But that's probably it.
But I think it's like.
What was the other cage? What was the other cage that NXT did? The fight pit.
Oh, the fight pit. Yeah.
That they
Actually,
had.
what
Was it? They
Riddle
had versus
Riddle and fuck.
Riddle. Who was it? It was Riddle versus somebody.
Yeah.
NXT.
Thatcher. Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also did one on Extreme Rules, which was Riddle and Seth Rollins as well.
Yeah. And that's cool because it's like there's a cage around the ring, but you're not trying to escape the cage. You can also fight on the ledge up top. It's just a different variation. I mean, yeah. We could call.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need a whole episode on all of the different variations of cage matches.
Of cages.
And we can do a top 12 different cage matches.
Oh yeah, I'm actually into that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's just funny how like after like 50 years of wrestling, they got to like the 90s and were like, we need some new match types, and did all this crazy wacky shit. And now we're like 25 years removed from that, and we've kind of gone backwards in a sense of going like, nah, we kind of just need the ring. I think that's mostly what we need. We don't need to keep reinventing the wheel here. It's fucking professional wrestling. So,
one thing I guess I don't know if I'm surprised or not surprised. I'm neither surprised nor not surprised. But
what's that?
That WWE hasn't tried to bring back in any way a scaffold match. That they used to have where they'd fight on the scaffolding above the ring, and that probably because too many people fall, and
I just think it's just too dangerous.
It's just too dangerous, yeah.
It's just way too.
Anyway,
and those matches always sucked anyway. Anyway, carry on. Anyway.
They did that's the truth. They did kind of suck. That was kind of the problem. They did kind of suck.
What are you giving this
anyway,
match?
what do you want to give? What do you want to give this one? It's definitely better than the 5 from 95.
I was give it a 10. I'd give it a 10.
I would,
because it was there was some good and there was some bad.
There were genuinely good matches, and for as looking at it at the time of 1996. Everything was just how do we make it bigger? How do we make it crazier? It certainly was an attraction, and it certainly was.
Yeah, that's.
But the execution of it was kind of like you can clearly see they really didn't like talk about what was going to go on. Like there just wasn't a lot of coordination or communication of like what are y'all doing? Like, but it certainly wasn't the worst. Yeah, I think 10 is like a nice round number. Like if we were rolling death saves for a pay-per-view, like it would just barely save itself from one death save.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
There we are.
That is Uncensored 1996. My morbid curiosity, once again, it makes me want to look at what 1997's Uncensored is. And it looks like the Nasty Boys are involved because they're on the cover. Yeah. Let's see. We've got I'm just going to look at this. We've got Ice Train versus Max. Dean Malenko versus Eddie Guerrero. Ultimate Dragon.
Great match.
Versus Psychosis.
Yeah.
Glacier. Oh, man. Remember when Glacier was in Glacier versus Mortis?
Yeah.
Buff Bagwell
Glacier.
versus Scotty Riggs. Harlem Heat versus Public Enemy. Prince
Texas
Laukea
tornado
versus
match.
Rey Mysterio Jr.
Ah,
Wow.
I don't even know who that
And,
is. And then we got the NWO.
And the NWO, because this is all, because NWO versus
It's now a
Team
thing.
Piper.
Yeah. Oh, and we got fucking Dennis Rodman in the corner of NWO.
Yeah, this is
Actually, we got the NWO versus Team Piper versus Team WCW.
Yeah. Oh, I think our audio is out of sync again.
Oh God. Okay, my connection's having a
Or maybe
great
you just
time.
didn't hear it. Yeah. This is gonna be great editing. But we might have. I think we need to take a break from the Uncensored, and maybe we'll come back to this, because I do feel like we just have to touch on all of these at some point. They're just they're too bad. They're too good and bad at the same time.
Yeah, they're the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. It's peak WCW though. Peak WCW.
Yeah.
So, well, I think I lost you again.
Oh boy.
Whoop.
How about you do the shout outs?
All right, I will do the shout outs. This is going to be the best, the best at editing. Shout out to Wikipedia. Support Wikipedia. This is where we get most of the information for these episodes. Shout out to Al at 2K and Kaylee at 2K UK. WWE 2K26. Available everywhere in the entire world now, according to the latest commercials I've seen. And I still think it's the greatest WWE 2K game of all time, because it is. Old Glory Iconic Music and Sports Merch, 15% off your entire order at oldglory.com using the discount code PTW, and LaCure Hangover Prevention Gummies, 20% off your entire order at LaCure.com using discount code PTW. Next week, man, I don't know. I don't even know. We got to take once again, I think I need a day to just recoup from thinking about this. We did talk about doing a Superstar Showcase, and I think the next up would be... what did we say? We were going to Chad Gable, right?
I think you said Chad Gable, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe we'll do that. Or maybe we'll do something else. We'll find out.
We'll figure it out. We got a whole week to figure that out.
Yeah. Until then, tell them what you gotta tell them. Wrap it up. End it.
If you want me to, it's up to you.
Yeah, I kind of do. I want to get this over.
All right, bye. Shit.
I took the last sip of my wild berry generic seltzer, so
Oh, what time?
I'm good.
Lasted one exact episode. Bye.